Tom Reich for Making Business Smarter, and today another in our continuing series on Rotary. Now, why is Rotary an important thing for businesses, and why does it make you a smarter business person to be in a service organization like a Rotary? Well, there are several good service organizations. I happen to be in Rotary, and I highly recommend it. We're going to talk today to a guy named John Stein, who's been in Rotary almost 50 years in Orlando. And he's going to tell us about a wonderful project that the Rotary Club of Orlando does for African schools in Kenya. They've actually built 20-some schools in Africa over the years. Now, after he talks, we're going to talk a little bit about what Rotary does in the communities and how it can help you as a business person network with other business people, learn about business, and also do some good for your community, which never looks bad on your website and your social media. But first, let's talk to John Stein.
Good afternoon. My name is John Stein. I am a member of the Rotary Club of Orlando, and I have been with the Rotary in Orlando for 54 years. I shouldn't say last, but it was in February of 2001, my wife and I took a photo safari to East Africa, and in that trip we met a Maasai warrior in southern Kenya. He was interested in returning to school and having Rotary help him. Unfortunately, it didn't fit the requirements that Rotary requires. But he had had an 8th grade education and wanted to come back and help his people. And the result of that was that we gave him some money so he could go back to school. But that didn't solve the real problem, because then we got to talking some more. And he was telling me of how the kids conducted school. And believe it or not, they sat on benches under an acacia tree. From that, and the Maasai's name was Patrick Papatiti, and he says, why don't we build a school? From that came the seed that has created a whole bunch of other classrooms in Africa. But that first one was a 2-room schoolhouse, and there were 37 or so kids that started in that school. We came back to about a year later when they dedicated the school, and it was certainly heartwarming to see them be able to go in a classroom that had benches and seats and had blackboards so that they could really learn. Because and we have found over the years that the children and their parents are so interested in making sure that their children have an education. The program may have started in southern Kenya, but it grew because we actually were going on another safari and the next year and met another Maasai, and this man lived in western central Kenya, and his name was Wilson Lopapet. And Wilson had already gone through the warrior stage and was a junior elder. And he said, I would like for my children, 2 girls, to have an opportunity to go to school. The Maasai traditions favor where the male is the guy that gets all the advantages and the women do all the work. But he was insistent that he wanted his girls to have an education. From that, in the Loita Hills, which is in central Kenya, Wilson introduced us to an NGO, a non-governmental organization, who helped build the first 4 or 5 classrooms there in the Loita Hills. And it was in different towns like Ilkajuka, Osananti, Mausa, different names of little bit. A community is nothing more than maybe 3 or 4 houses that are stuck together or maybe in an area. But they have taken that concept and they will build a classroom, and from that they'll teach their kids. And there may be 25 or 30 or 40 kids in that one classroom, and every time we would build a classroom, it would start with, say, 30 or 40 kids wanting to come, and a lot of times by the time it got built, there was 45 or 50 kids that were coming to school, and they'd be all ages. We think of kindergarten through 5th grade or 6th grade, but they'd be all stretched out through that one classroom.
John Stein's an amazing man, and he's one that's representative of 1.2 million Rotarians. Being involved in Rotary as a small business person or as a member of a large business helps your community and also helps your business. Rotarians meet once a week, and they have speakers that are members of the business community, or a mayor, or if your airport's being developed, maybe the head of the development company of the airport will come and speak. You never know what great speaker's going to happen. You also never know who you're going to meet in a Rotary meeting. The best type of people are there to network with. But doing international projects really make you feel good when you can know that you've helped people in another country, in another part of the world, people that will never know your name and never see you. You've made their life a little bit better.
To date, we have built 21 classrooms for the students in Kenya, and we named the program African School Project because the purpose was to build classrooms for the students, and so that the parents could see and they wanted them. They wanted the classrooms so that the kids could be educated. They teach English and also their national language in that school. We're really pleased with what has happened. The classroom basically is a 20 by 25 area. It has concrete floors. The walls initially were made out of timber or lumber, which was fairly common, but it became very scarce. And then we have gradually shifted over to quarried stone. And the interesting thing is it certainly makes a more durable construction that we know will last for years and years and years. And of course the roof is made of the corrugated metal on a wood framing. It has been a very heartwarming thing to see. We've gone back, my wife and I have been back a couple of times to go and visit them, and the fact that we, the Rotary Club of Orlando, have gone and made the effort to provide a classroom for those students and their families has been such a gratifying thing, and it's caught fire with the club, and it's been since 2001, it's been one of the heartwarming giving efforts of our club, and I am so pleased that we have been able to do what has been to me a very tremendous benefit to all the students and the families that live in Kenya.
And that's really the meaning of charity. Now, John Stein has a few more words for us, and he wants to talk just a bit about his club, the Rotary Club of Orlando, and their 100th anniversary, which is happening this year. But first, I want to thank you for coming to another Make Business Smarter. I hope we've made you just a little bit smarter. And if you'd like to be notified about our next video, please subscribe, like the video, and we'll make sure you know when the next one's coming out. Until then, John, take us out.
You know, the nice thing about all of what we've been doing with the schools in Kenya is that this is our 100th year of service to the community. And the community is not limited to the Orlando community, it's the worldwide community. As I mentioned earlier, we have built 21 classrooms for different schools, different communities in Kenya. We are in the process of collecting now for the 22nd classroom, and it will be at Osanati. We will be sending a wire over with $9,000, and that's what it costs to build a classroom for these students in Kenya. We're delighted to be able to do this in this 100th year of our Rotary Club, and we hope that we'll continue to do that in the years to come.